Shalom. This is to all Israelite groups and all Israelite communities and all breakoffs from One West and breakoffs from breakoffs from breakoffs from breakoffs. No matter what rainbow uniform you wear, red, white, purple and white, all white, it don't matter. You should all treat the ISUPK like your weird, misunderstood Sabbaths. You shouldn't do anything until you counsel with the ISUPK. We'll tell you when and what to eat. We'll tell you who to marry. We'll tell you who to have sex with and how. We'll tell you how to resolve conflicts with your wives. We'll tell you how to resolve conflicts with your kids, your brothers, your sisters, your parents, your friends, everybody. We'll tell you when and how to pray. We'll tell you how to direct your life in a way that's pleasing to the Most High God of Israel and our Black King Yahushua, a.k.a. Jesus Christ. We will be to you instead of a God. Just like the Most High told Moses in Exodus 4:16 that Aaron would be to him instead of a mouth and he would be to Aaron instead of a God, that's what we'll do for you. It is what you all need because none of you know what the fuck you are doing. I pray you understand. Shalom.
Yeah, you know what it is. 140 for the rebel, Billy man, shit, nigga. They turn their head over, nigga. Okay, when Eve did to Adam, I just pray my love don't lie to me. Swing the iron like Samson, I can't let no hoe lie to me. I don't feel these rappers, oh, they lies is hypocrisy. Ain't no competition, ain't no rivalry. Niggas think I'm playing, I don't hear one word they saying, this shit light work. Think Muhammad one of us, he might lose his life first. Suckle up and stay alert. Another cop can stretch the nigga. He ain't demon, this an exorcism. Watch I bless the nigga. You took that oath in blood, then you know I'm gonna get active with you. From the opposition, I see vision. Let me paint the picture. Rappers can they spin, I ain't listening. Is it effective? If revenge was a woman, now I scope that bitch like Jacob. So I war, we gonna run the summer. It's gonna be historical. Thought they making plays, made them niggas call the audible. Ask who run this shit, but that question is rhetorical. Bitch, I'm the one, me cookies with the oil. I'ma get them crackers, hell, should've never kidnapped my family. I can't do that. Bet I be the last nigga standing. Do a life sentence for my niggas, pray you understand me. I might put a switch on this Glock and call it young pay. How you real triggering on them dots? You a bird feeder, claiming he a demon. What's a demon to a cold leader? What he saying something, I ain't hear. This shit life. It ain't about who got the gun, it's about who gon' up that fight first. I turn a bad situation to a game change. Bring soldiers from the dead, just raised up the chain. Bring shots, I'ma look like Aaron Jones when I run it. Never bite the hand that feeds you, you'll never get that hand back. He bitching about 10%, I don't wanna hear none of that. He dropping sword, fuck him, just make sure you get that cover back. Look around, he ain't with us, probably cause he never was. Now my chin like you with the angels for your brothers. Everybody wanna be Richard Porter, God kill him like Alpo. Play if he want, it's laying in the trunk like Lee Malvo. A certified woman's ass nigga, I am not a toy. Hey, out with that hollow side, yeah, this the rim accord. Feel like Gullah Jack when I'm in Fayetteville, you feel your boy. Still up on my brain, still I think that's all that I do. The way I get it, boy, lost, they gon' start to call him Elroy. Fuck his game, pop out on them demons like I'm Hellboy.
Salakia, a Shalom Israel with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Start out on 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yohana. It's the Friday night Lashawan Qadash class, where we break down the scriptures from a linguistics perspective. We see, hey, Itazakabar, if you could hear me, just go ahead and say something so I can know that you in the stream.
Shalom, Yahweh, Shem Yahweh Shabbat Rakadam.
Most High in Christ. Most High in Christ. Daughter, you going on camera? Or you gonna stay off camera for a little bit?
Come for the camera. Come for the camera now. So like,
Okay, no sweat. No, it's all good. Just checking on your status. As usual, you know what I mean? I got the young warrior, young up and coming priest, you know what I mean? And Lashawan Qadash expert, Itazai Gabar in the building. You know what I mean? Let's see you, warrior. The water for rocking it out with me again. You know what I mean?
come.
I mean, we up in here every Friday breaking down these scriptures from a linguistics perspective so that you can get a full 360 scope of what your culture is about. You know what I mean, your Christian pastors, they playing with the Bible. Or they've convinced you, you know what I mean? Most Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans have spent their entire life in the Christian church. And the entire time you read in the Christian church, or it's like the whole time, the entire time you in the Christian church, so-called reading the Bible and studying the Bible, your Christian pastors have not made the connection of who these people are. You know what I mean? They make it seem like this is just some fairy tale storybook where you can just read it, and like how you read you know what I mean, what's them old stories, them Aesop fables, and the nursery rhymes, Humpty Dumpty and Jack and Jill. You know what I mean, where you reading these stories and you can draw some sort of lesson from these stories, some so-called spiritual lesson from these stories, but at the end of the day, the Christian church makes it seem like they not real. You know what I mean? So you reading these stories, but at the end of the day, you just like, oh, well, you know what I mean? David ain't really fight Goliath. You know what I mean? Noah ain't really build that ark. You know what I mean? Moses ain't really part the Red Sea. You know what I mean? Through the power of the Most High God. You know what I mean? But what you fail to realize is that we serve a real God. You know what I mean? And all those people in the Bible are real people. These are real stories, real historical facts. You know what I mean? That line up with current times and history that you could find in any book today. You know what I mean? Any archaeology that could support it. You know what I mean? But these stories are real, and it's important that you make that connection because it's the very reason why you're in captivity today. You know what I mean, otherwise you don't have a culture. You know what I mean, you take the culture out of this Bible, you take the stories in this Bible and think that they don't mean anything, then you don't have a culture. You know what I mean? And that just opens the door for your oppressor to replace your culture with anything. Like they always say, you know what I mean? You take a man's culture, you can replace it with anything. That's why we out here celebrating 4th of July. You know what I mean? Of course, not the brothers and sisters up in here in the ISUPK, but us as Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You know what I mean? That's why we out here celebrating the 4th of July, because we've been told we don't have no culture outside of American slavery. So we do what America does. You know what I mean? We ain't got no culture. So what do? We become Muslims. You know what I mean? We ain't got no culture. So what do? We join the oppressor's military. You know what I mean? We join their police force, so they ICE agents, so they border patrol. You know what I mean? And that's all because your culture has been taken from you and hidden from you. And you got your Christian pastors to thank for why that's been so effective for hundreds of years. You know what I mean? But here in the ISUPK, we've been teaching Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans the truth according to the Bible since 1969. You know what I mean? If you got any questions or anything on any topic, you go ahead, raise your hand. Salaki. You go ahead, raise your hand or put it in the chat and we'll address them. Before we get started, Bar, why you since you in here, you got any questions before we go into the lesson for tonight? Okay, no sweat. All right, before we move forward, if you do come up with any questions or anything, or if any questions come up along the way, of course, just let me know, and we'll pause the class or whatever we got to do, backtrack and get your questions answered. All right.
Come.
Now, are you able to read from what's it called, Bible Hub, and be on?
I had to pull it up on my TV.
Okay, no sweat. Yeah, we're gonna do that a little bit later. We pretty much gonna do what we did last week. So last week, if you remember, we went over a couple things, just a couple gems. We went over a couple gems that's gonna, you know what I mean, gonna help you along the way, being able to understand and read and write the Hebrew. And then at the end, toward the end of the class, we did some reading. You know what I mean, and where, you know what I mean, this brother Itazai Gabar did an excellent job. You know what I mean? we're gonna do so. We're gonna do a little bit more reading exactly where we left off in Leviticus 23. I believe we read to the second chapter or the second verse, rather, Salakia. Leviticus 23 and verse 2. So we're gonna pick up from verse 3. And then we're gonna continue to read from there and just continue. It's all gonna be practice. And then if we see anything new, or if we see anything that we went over, we're just gonna identify it. If we see anything new, then we're gonna go over it, and you know what I mean, Lord willing, you'll be able to add it to your tool belt as well. All right. You got your notes from last week?
Sir.
All right, real quick before we move forward, just go ahead and let everybody know on the stream what we went over last week.
So last week we covered a couple of words such as ana, which is anaya, anya. Went over the word you in Hebrew, atha. The word strong, which is atazal, which also could mean solid. Asha, which means work. Asha in the Hebrew, and the word work in the English. Atam, which means y'all. In the English, atam is in the Hebrew. Hawa, which it means he or his. Hawa in the Hebrew, and he or his. Salaki. Yeah, Salaki. Yeah, Hawa, which means he or his in the English. Let me see, Salaki. What else I have? Then we got we also have Haya, which means her or hers in the English. And then we have ham. What we had ham. Salaki. My hand was kind of bad on that one. Salaki, my penmanship kind of bad.
No sweat. Just real quick while you sorting it out, it's pronounced hum in the Hebrew.
Yes.
All right.
Hum, which means them or they in the English. And yeah, that was that pretty much was it.
And it was one more, and then we gonna double back.
Was it Mo? Yeah, Salaki. I ain't had the English version, but was it Mawa?
I'm not sure what that one is. But as far as what we went over last week, the last one is Hun. HAN will be how you spell it in English. But Hun, and it means they or their. But
that's
in a feminine sense.
Oh yeah, Salaki.
And then I want to double back to Anya. All right. It's important that you pronounce it Anya, because if you say Anaya, it means something different. Anaya means ship, like a boat. You know what I mean? So it's important that you pronounce that Anya, so that you saying I or I am. All right. Other than that, that's pretty much everything that we went over last week. You know what I mean? So brothers, if you brothers and sisters, I mean, if you don't have that in your notes, you can go back to last class, go to that part, you know what I mean, get them down or rewatch it or whatever you got to do, and just get them down, because it's going to be important, because that's going to give, it's used a lot. Like those words that we just went over, they're used a lot because that's what gives the sentence point of view. You know what I mean? Because it's a lot of dialogue. It's a lot of dialogue and a lot of storytelling. It's a lot of narration in the Bible. And for you to be able to keep up with what's going on, especially if you read it in Hebrew, you're going to want to know who we talking to, who's talking. Am I talking? Are you talking? Is he talking? Is she talking? Are they talking? You know what I mean? So all those words we just went over, they just give the sentence point of view. You know what I mean? You're gonna, and with that being said, you're gonna see them a lot. So when you're reading it, if you read it and you see it in the Hebrew, you want to be able to identify it, so to just make it that much easier. You know what I mean? And we're gonna go forward. We're gonna read on, or we're gonna add some more stuff to make reading the Hebrew easier moving forward. Like that's the whole point of all these lessons that we're going over. All of these lessons that we're doing, they should add to your belt. You know what I mean? To where instead of reading each character individually, like ba, ga, da, and trying to put together phrases, you'll just be able to recognize them, and that'll just help you flow through it. And we'll give some examples. We'll give some examples as we move forward in the class, or as move forward later in the end portion where we read in the Bible Hub. So, Lockie, I'm about to pull up everything we're gonna need tonight. Before we go to Bible Hub, though, I want to touch on. So you got the I, he, she, they, you. I mean, you got all those words in your notes. Last week we kind of touched on numbers. You know what I mean? It sounded like you had a pretty decent handle on the numbers as well. Just for review, Aita Zakabar, if you could, Baba Kashai, go ahead, teach the people online, you know what I mean, these numbers real quick, and we're going to expound on it.
Come on. Salah. Let me get my notebook real quick.
The Most
I
High
know
Christ.
one Asha, Shanya, Asha, Shanya, Shamka. Salah, sir.
Almost. You go ahead and get your notes. In the meantime, while you're doing that, make sure y'all like, share, subscribe to the channel. You know what I mean? As usual, like, share, subscribe, share it with your loved ones, share it with your fellow hecklers or whatever you got going on in the chat. You know what I mean? If you want some smoke, go ahead, put it in the chat. You know what I mean? We'll address it accordingly. You got genuine questions, go ahead, put them in the chat as well. You know what I mean? Hey, Shalom, Lord of Christ. I think that's the sister that just checked in. What you got, Aita Zakabar?
Salaki, sir. It was Asha, Shanya, Shalash, Araba.
Hey, Salaki, 1 second. Salaki. Hey, Shalom, sis. I see you checking in out of Houston. Most High in Christ. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe, share it all over. You know what I mean, on every platform, and hit that QR code in the top right corner, and there'll be a brother in that chat morning, noon, and night to answer all your questions and solve all your problems. So, like, I just wanted to get that. That introduction out. 1 second. It looked like it's a question in the chat. Salakia, is it okay to watch fireworks on TV even though not celebrating a holiday? All right. I mean, it's not unlawful to watch fireworks. It's not unlawful to, you know what I mean, shoot fireworks. But my question is, why would you want to do that on the 4th of July? I mean, of course it's not unlawful. It's not unlawful to fire up the grill on the 4th of July. You know what I mean? It's not if you're not celebrating the holiday, but you know what I mean? It depends. It depends on you don't want to be a stumbling block for other brothers and sisters. You know what I mean? So if you're around your family, like I don't know if you what your it looked like you might be in a school. Says you in a school. I don't know your condition. I don't know if you live with your family or you around like people in the world or whatever the case is, but you don't want to do something that's going to be a stumbling block to other brothers and sisters. Like, again, all the things I just named, shooting fireworks, you know what I mean, firing up the grill, things like that, that's not unlawful because we're not celebrating, you know what I mean, what's it called, the 4th of July? No way. You know what I mean? You can ask any of these brothers, you know what I mean, in Killeen, and they'll tell you that I fire up the grill almost every day. You know what I mean? I'm always cooking up something. You know what I mean? It ain't got to be no special holiday. But if me firing up the grill on the 4th of July is going to be a stumbling block for somebody who's who's you know what I mean, who may you know what I mean, who may feel like, who may fall weak and feel like it's okay to celebrate the 4th of July because they see me firing up a grill or something, then I just won't do it, just so I won't be a stumbling block to them. You get the point? Salaki, I see your comment. Salaki, sir, just curious. I go to the school, but the whole family is celebrating. I'm at home alone, not celebrating. Okay. Most High in Christ. Yeah, it's wise for you. I wouldn't, I just wouldn't. I mean, I don't see why you would like watch it on TV. You know what I mean? But you would just have to check your spirit. You know what I mean? See what type of spirit you in. What's making you want to do those things? And I know you just said you were just curious, but I'm just speaking in general. I mean, you just want to check your spirit. Just figure out what is it in you that make you want to do those things, even though you know that, you know what I mean, it's the celebration of your oppressors' freedom from Great Britain that had nothing to do with you aside from you being a slave in 1776. And then also, you know what I mean, you just want to make sure you're not a stumbling block. You know what I mean? But if that Most High in Christ. Yeah, that's usually, that's an excellent you know what I mean, put the comment on the chat so y'all can see what's going on in the chat as well. That's wise of you, sister. You know what I mean, to not watch them. I mean, especially if it's coming, if it's because of pressure from the family. You know what I mean? Like, give me the scripture real quick, Isaac Bar, if you could. Salakia. Go to Ezekiel 3 and start at verse 7. Verse 6. Verse 5.
Ezekiel chapter 7, verse 3.
Chapter 3 and verse 5.
Verse 5. Book of Ezekiel. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 3, verse 5. For thou art not sent to a people of strange speech and of a hard language, but to the house of Israel.
See, mate, I want you to listen to this, sister, and this is gonna give you some strength, especially if you surrounded by surrounded by pressure from your family. You know what I mean? What we do in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, you know what I mean? We're not sent to a people of a strange speech. You know what I mean? We're not sent to these other nations. You know what I mean? We're not sent to people who don't understand us. You know what I mean? But we sent to the house of Israel. We sent to our people. You know what I mean? Go ahead, read on.
Verse 6. Not to many people of the strange speech and of an hard language, whose words thou canst not understand. Surely had I sent thee to them, they would have hearkened unto thee.
See, if we would have been sent to any of these other nations, you know what I mean, Moab, Ammon, Esau, you know what I mean? Esau kisses our boots when we bring up the crimes that they committed against blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You know what I mean? So if we were sent to them, you know what I mean, they would surely listen to the Most High God and follow the instructions. You know what I mean? The reason why we, you know what I mean, the reason why it seems like we don't understand is because we just don't listen. We hard-headed. Our people are hard-headed. That's what you got to understand, sis. Go ahead, read on, Isaac Bar.
Verse 7. But to the house of Israel will not hearken unto thee, for they will not hearken unto me. For all the house of Israel are impudent and hard-hearted.
See, we
Verse
hard.
8.
We hard-hearted and we impudent. Let me see what that word impudent. I believe impudent means you just can't receive instructions. Impudent. Oh, not showing due respect for another person. You know what I mean? So, like the scriptures also say, a prophet is without respect in his own household. You know what I mean? That's where you're gonna be the least respected. You know what I mean? What you got to understand, sister, is your family is gonna be hard headed. So even though you probably done told them, let me know if I'm right or wrong, sis. You know what I mean? You done probably told them a million times, I don't celebrate Thanksgiving. I don't celebrate the 4th of July. You know what I mean? I don't do this. I don't eat pork. I don't eat crab. And they continuously try to get you to try it. Oh, you grew up eating pork. You grew up celebrating the 4th of July and Thanksgiving and Christmas. Ain't that right, sis? Let me know if I'm right or wrong. Where we at? Where we stop at? Verse 7. But what the point is, your family is gonna be very adamant about making you do what you've always done all your life, which is be just as filthy as they are. They want you to be just as filthy as they are. You know what I mean? Go ahead, read on.
Verse 8. Behold, behold, I have made thy face strong against their faces,
Read that
and
part
thy
again.
forehead. Verse 8. Behold, I have made thy face strong against their faces,
Uh-huh.
and thy forehead strong against their foreheads.
See, your family is hard-headed because even though you told them I don't celebrate the 4th of July, they insist on you celebrating in some way to the point where they want you to watch it on TV. They want you to, if you're not gonna get out there and pop fireworks and grill, they want you to sin in virtually. You know what I mean? They want you to they are adamant and hard-headed about you sinning. So you know what you got to do, sis? Read that again, Aita Zakabar.
Verse 8. Behold, I have made thy face strong against their faces, and
Uh-huh.
thy forehead strong against thy foreheads.
So you know what you got to do, sis? Your family is hard-headed about staying in the world and being filthy and joining themselves to America. What you got to do, sis, is you got to be hard-headed about standing on this business and this truth and not following those holidays and not bending to the will of your family. You know what I mean? And you know what I mean? Whatever they try to influence you to do. You know what I mean? You got to be, they're hard-headed. You got to be more hard-headed than them, but for righteousness. You understand, sis? I pray that answers your question. If you got any more questions, please feel free to let me know. And if you want me to expound any further, just let me know as well. All right. But all right. So we was going over the numbers, right?
Sir.
You know what I mean? Like this brother right here, this brother Aitazak Gabar, you know what I mean? He is hard-headed for the truth, man. You know what I mean? These brothers that you see up in here, you know what I mean? Officer Tapazar is hard-headed for the truth. You know what I mean? Officer Karab is hard-headed for the truth. Cap Yatazak is hard-headed for the truth, man. You know what I mean? That's how you got to do. That's the way that you going to get up out of this hell. You know what I mean? That's how you going to do it. All right, so we're going to go and get into these numbers. I'm going to go, let me share my screen real quick. And I'm going to just do it, so lucky. I'm going to just do it just like how we did last week, all right? Let me see how that look. Bear with me 1 second. It's a little bit of a delay on my end. I'm watching it. I'm doing the same thing you doing, Night as I could borrow. I got the class up on the TV so I could follow along. Is it frozen? Am I tripping? Okay, so like it was just a little bit of a delay. All right, so you got you said Achad, right? Achad, and also let's try to emphasize that ha sound too. We get into the habit just for practice, all right? You know what I mean? As we get used to the language, you know what I mean, we're gonna speak it in our different dialects and different accents and things like that. You know what I mean? We're not robots, you know what I mean? So everybody gonna have they way that they speak that's the most comfortable. Just like everybody got their way that they speak English that's the most comfortable. But just for practicing and learning sake, try to emphasize that ha, that achad, like not akkad, but achad. You feel me? All right, go ahead, do your thing, Aita Zakabor.
One in the English, Ashad in the Hebrew, two in English, Shanya
Achad.
in the Hebrew, Salaki.
So like it sounds like you're
One
saying Ashad.
Salaki. You just said Salaki. So
Okay, no, so I just want to make sure it's all good. I just want to make sure but Achad, right? You got it. Go ahead.
One in the English, Achad in the Hebrew, two in the English, Shanya in the Hebrew, three in the English, Shalash in the Hebrew, four in the English, Arabah in the Hebrew, five in the English, Chamash in the Hebrew, six in the English, Shashah in the Hebrew, seven in the English, Shabbat in the Hebrew, eight in the English, Shamawana, Shamawana in the Hebrew, nine in the English, the Shah in the Hebrew, 10 in the English, Ashar, Ashar, Asharah, Asharah in the Hebrew.
God. You just got 1 through 10.
Come on, sir.
All right. So Lakia, let me catch up with you. Salakia. All right, Salakia. You did say you got 1 through 10, right?
Come on, sir.
All right, no sweat. So what we gonna do, right? Is we gonna Salakia. Bear with me 1 second. What we gonna do is learn how to count from 1 to 100. All right. If you know how to count from 1 to 10, you can learn how to count from 1 to 100. And if you can count from 1 to 10 in the Hebrew, then you can count from 1 to 100. If you can count from 1 to 100, then you can count from 100 to 1,000. And if you could count from, well, that's pretty much like if you can count to 1,000, then you can count to 10,000 and so on and so forth. All right. So we just did 1 through Salakia. We just did 1 through 10. Now 11, right? And I'm gonna show you this. I'm gonna show you this formula, and then you gonna be able to guess what the rest is based on what I'm about to show you. You're gonna be able to just guess what the rest of it is. All right. So Akkad 1, Shanya 2, Shalash 3, Arabai 4, Hamash 5, Shashai 6, Shabai 7, Shemona 8, Dashai 9, Aishara 10. All right. And if you don't have it memorized off the top of your head, here's a good way to memorize it. Do some push-ups. Do some push-ups. Sisters, you know what I mean? Do some you know what I mean, crunches or whatever you do to keep yourself in shape. But brothers, if you're having a hard time memorizing the numbers from 1 through 10, do some push-ups. And every push-up, don't say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Say Akkad, Shanya, Shalash, Arabai, Hamash, Shashai, Shabai, Shemona, Dashai, Aishra. And that's how you're gonna remember. You know what I mean?
Sir.
That's a good way. That's a good way to remember. You know what I mean? For the y'all brothers who understand, you know what I mean, y'all understand. Well, You can, but and just to say that, say it in a cadence, you know what I mean, over and over in your head, just to remember, whatever you got to do. But because again, if you could remember 1 through 10, then you can count all the way to 1,000. All right, and I'm gonna show you what I mean. All right, so remember, Itazagabar. What's about to happen is I'm gonna tell you what's about to happen. Right, I'm gonna show you this first one, and then you're gonna teach us how to say the rest of it. Because this because I'm gonna show you the formula. All right. So Ishura is 10. This is how you say 11. Achad Ishura. Achad Ishura is 11. Let me give you one more. Shanya Ishura is 12. All right, teach us how to say 13, Itazagabor.
It'll be Shalash. Shalash. Ishura.
God. Damn right. What's next?
14 will be Arabah Ishura.
God. You got it now, right? Itazagabor? Is it making sense to you? It's like, right, nice and easy, right?
Sir.
God, Most High in Christ. All right. You need a second to write it down, or you want to keep going?
Oh, we can keep going.
Okay, Most High in Christ. What's next?
Hamash.
Or actually,
Ishura.
go ahead. Give me that one. I want to see. I want y'all. I want y'all to put it in the chat as well. You know what I mean? Don't let Itazagabar get all this work. You know what I mean? Dark Side had a question. Should there be a wa in between in the scriptures? Because when you read it in English, how the numbers are arranged, it'll say, and Abraham was 99 years old. So the wa is there in the scriptures, not necessarily. You know what I mean? It's not necessary to have that wa when you're just saying numbers. Like, you know what I mean? Like I don't know if you familiar with that, Dark Side. When you see in the scriptures when it talks about age or a number of years or amount of time that then passed, it says and 100 and it'll say something like 100 and or 20 and 100 years old or years past, or it'll be like 3 and 4 score or something like that. That was in there in the Hebrew because that's just how it's worded in the English. But when you just talk about numbers, it's not necessary to have it. All right. So with that being said, I want to see some comments from people online as well. You know what I mean? You see how easy this is. You see how this brother, and I told you that was gonna happen, didn't I, Itazagabor? I put the first one up there, and I said you're gonna teach the class. You're teaching Hebrew right now. You know what I mean? I pray you understand that. You said Hamash Ishura 15. All right, what's next?
Shasham Ishura 16.
Con. And then you go ahead and run them down, Itazagabar. I'm really trying to catch up with you, or I'm trying to keep up with you.
Shabbat Ashura.
Con.
18 to be Shamanawan. Shamawana. Shamawana Ashura.
Con. And you see what I put on the board?
Y'all can see it on the whiteboard.
Okay, you see what I put for 18? It's so I put for 8 I put Shamawana. That's lucky. For 8 I put Shamawana. For 18 I put Shamana. Now, the reason why I put that, I just wanted to make a note of that. In the scriptures, you may see Shamana. Whether no matter what you like, if you're talking about 8 of anything, if you're talking about the number 8, you may just see Shamana instead of Shamawana. That Y might drop off. But either one is referring to 8. But what the reason why that is you'll see a lot of times in our language. Like things will get simplified, words will get blended together, things like that. Like what's his name? Yawash. His name is a blending of the word Yahweh and Ash. But instead of saying Yahweh Ash, it's Yahweh Ash. Because first of all, you don't want to use the Lord's name in vain. So you'll never see the word Yahweh in a brother's name. But second of all, that's just to show that how words are abbreviated or like not abbreviated, but you'll see a blending together of words to create another word or a name. Rather, like I believe in as a matter of fact, let me go take a look at it. I believe it's the book of Joel, chapter 3. You ain't got to go to it. I'm just going to Bible Hub, where it talks about the valley of Jehoshaphat. I believe Jehoshaphat in Hebrew is Yawashaphat, which is the Lord will judge. That's another example of how Salaki, let me confirm. I believe it's Yawashaphat though. Chapter 3, Salakia. But that's the point though. You know what I mean? Words will be blended together. Let me see. Salaki, I'm looking for this verse. Bear with me 1 second. 03 and verse 2. I'm tripping. Okay. Yahweh Shaphat. Okay. It's Yahweh Shaphat. Okay. But and a lot of names, like you'll see that though. Like in a lot of words, you'll see like words being blended together, words being abbreviated and things like that. That's just how that's just how our language is spoken. Much like how you hear brothers in Houston talking when they say no, I'm talking about, they don't say, do you know what I'm talking about? They blend it together. You know what I mean? That's how the Hebrew is spoken sometimes. You'll see a lot of times. We'll see it. I mean, Lord willing, if you're able to make it to Sabbath service tomorrow, you'll be able to see it then as you're reading it. Or tonight, you know what I mean? We're going to get into a little bit of the reading the Hebrew tonight. And you'll be able to see it then as well. And if I see examples of it, I'll just point it out. Let me make sure I ain't leaving nobody out the stream. Let's see. All right, so 18 Shemana Aishra, or you might just see Shemana Aishra. Either way is correct. I just didn't want you to see it in the scriptures and think Shemana and then see Shemana and be confused. All right. Next one is the Shai Aishra.
The shot.
And then I'll be surprised if you was able to get this one. You want to give it a shot? Or you want me to just tell you?
What 20?
20.
Shayan Yum. Shayan Yum.
Hold on, wait. Almost. You sure you ain't got the 10s in your notes? That was a good guess. It's close though.
I just know you had the Yum.
You said you don't?
You had the Yum with the tents, don't you?
Con. Damn right. So with that being said, how do you say 20? It's not Shunya. It's not Shunya Yum.
Shayam.
I'll give you that hint. Yes, it's not that either. It has nothing to do with Shunya. That's another hint. What? It's like you want to give it another shot, or you want another hint?
Let me see. Try one more time.
Okay. Think tens, like plural tens, more than 1 10. What'd you say, Actor Zagabor?
I think I got it.
You say you think you got it or you don't think you got it?
I don't think I got it.
Okay, no sweat. It'll be I'm put on the board. Aisha-Yum. Let's see if I can find a highlighter tool. Aisha-Yum will be how you say 20. Because it's 2 10s. Aisha is 10, and then if you want to pluralize something, you put yum at the end. So 10 becomes tens. I'm gonna put that in parentheses. Salaki, bear with me. Salaki, my tablet or my laptop acting squirrely right now.
Oh,
All right. All right, so so 20 is Aisha-Yum. Now it's just straightforward from here. All right, everything gonna be straightforward from here. So Aisha-Yum is 20. How you think you say 30?
Man, let it kind of threw me off, but I say Aisha Ra. Salaki. That'd be Shalash Aisha Ra.
La. You able to see the board?
Kana one kana. Salaki.
I see you, Dark Side. Dark Side got it. Shalash Yum. It wouldn't be Shalasha Yum. You was close though, Dark Side. Shalash Yum. Shalash Yum. Right. All right. Now 40.
Hamash. Hamashim.
Oh, that would be 50.
Oh, Salaki. Arba'ayim.
Con. Bayum 40. And then you already said 50. Hamash. Yum. You see the pattern, right?
Kana one kana.
Let me see. Salaki. I'm just checking the chat. I see you, Dark Side. You know what I mean? Will you get the pattern, Dark Side? I mean, I want to make sure everybody locked in. Shalash Arbai Kamash Shayum 60. 70 is what?
Salaki. Shabayim.
Gun. 80.
Shamanayim.
Okay. Shamawanayim or Shamanayim. Most likely, it may be Shamanayim. As a matter of fact, let me check on that. Let me check on that. But I'm just it's either one, Shemawana and Shemana. Both of them will be used interchangeably, but I'm just using Shemana from here on out just so you could get used to seeing it, because it looked like most brothers and sisters is familiar with Shemawana being 80 or Shemawana being 8 and pertaining to all things dealing with 8. So just to get it in your memory bank, I just want to use Shemana so brothers is aware that that's in there. Let me see if I can. A perfect example. Oh wait, no. Let me see. Genesis 5 and 4. I'm just checking on something real quick. Just going to Salaki. I'm just going into Bible Hub. And this is something that you could do as well. As a matter of fact, let me do it on screen. As a matter of fact, I don't know if I want to do that. Well, I'm gonna give it a try, but lately my laptop been acting crazy when I try to go to different book chapters and verses on Bible Hub. Let me give it a try, and if it start acting squirrely, then I'm gonna just have to do it on my phone and verbalize it. So we're gonna go to Genesis. So what I did, and if you ever want to check on how to say something in the Hebrew, Derek Ali, I see you in the chat. Hey, shalom. You just want to know what Abba Vivian's belief on his book marks a lost race. I heard Abba Vivian's and his online. That's more of a question for Commandant General Yohana or General Mahaiman. And I believe right now, they're in North Carolina right now. So you might see some lectures pop up. You might see some classes, and especially with everything going on right now, Derek Ali, with everything that's going on right now with World War III being underway, ICE agents and all the things that's happening with Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Commander General Yohana has been doing a lot of pop-up classes. You know what I mean? So what I would do is just be on the lookout for Commander General Yohana, follow all his pages. You know what I mean? The real General Yohana, Black Watch, or I believe it's America on Fire now. ISUPK online classes on all platforms. Just follow all of those and keep an eye out for when Commander General Yohana goes live or General Muhammad goes live, and then ask that question in that chat. All right, and they'll have an answer for you for sure. All right. So Genesis. So real quick, Ike Zagabar, I want you to pay attention to what I'm doing. All right. Because this is going to be an excellent tool for you to use, Salaki. I mean, I guess you could if I would share my screen, right? Salaki, let me share my screen. I got the wrong screen shared. Share this tab instead. Salaki for that, Ike Zagabar. But I just want you to see this, right? Because this is going to be an excellent tool for you. This is going to be one of many excellent tools for you to use if you're trying to learn the Hebrew. All right. So if you want to learn how to say anything in the Hebrew, or if you want to double check on how to say anything, and you don't have a concordance code, or it's like if you don't have a concordance, like a physical concordance in front of you, or if you don't have a concordance on your phone or a dictionary on your phone. Another way to be able to find out what words mean in real time in its live usage is to find the word in your Bible app and see what scripture pop up. So what I did, right, and I'm gonna just show you. So I just went to, you know how to use this, right? I just like a boy. I don't know if you can see that. This is oh, good night. So like I was trying to show you my phone, but it made me disappear. Good night. Me put my phone on the screen or on the camera made me disappear because I'm using this green screen right now. Well, so what I'm doing is so you go to your Bible app on your phone. Like if you don't have a Bible in front of you, you would just go to your phone and use that Bible app. And then you hit that search icon in the corner. You could type in any word. So what I did was search the word 8, and it showed me all the scriptures where the word 8 appears in the scripture. So in the scriptures, 8 shows up 324 times, or it's giving me 324 results. All right. So I just went to the first one. First time 8 is mentioned in the Bible is Genesis 5 and 4. So what you want to do is go to Bible Hub. This is where Bible Hub come in now. So you go to Bible Hub and go to good night. Salakia. Bear with me. Oh my God. So you go to Bible Hub and go to that whatever book, chapter, and verse that had the word that you're looking for. Genesis. Oh my God, bro. Genesis 5 and 4. Bear with me, Salakia. I'm gonna have to get this laptop refurbished to something. Good night. Bear with me, Salakia. All right, Genesis 5 and good night. All right, Genesis 5 and 4. Most High in Christ, Salakia. Just waiting for it to load, and then you just read it. You just read it in Here it go. All right. You want to read? Are you able to see this on the screen?
Come on, sir.
Are you able to see it well enough to read it?
Come on, sir.
All right, no sweat. You go ahead, read when you and I'm gonna stop you when we get to 8. All right, you can read it from the top.
Come, the book of Genesis, chapter 5. Chapter 5, verse 4 in the Hebrew, meaning in the Hebrew. Wayahayawa.
Con, damn right, perfect. Go ahead.
Yamaya. Salaki. Yamaya.
Con,
Yamya.
con, perfect. I was gonna let it slide. I was gonna let that Yamaya slide, but Most High Christ.
Adam. Adam. Would it be Adam? Adam.
In the English,
Adam.
Adam in the Hebrew.
Ahadia. Aharad. Salaki. Aharadya.
Harya.
Ahari. Ahari. Hawala. Ha. Hawala. Yar.
It sound like you got it.
Hawala. Ya. Bro. I don't know how to pronounce it. I know the words like that, but the characters. Hawala. Ya. The what? The
Con.
Hawala.
Yadwa.
Yadwa.
Con. Damn right. Off. When you see that word, that natha, and you look at that, you look underneath it, look at the red, and it's just a dash. It's just off. It's like a transitional word. Like from Hebrew to English, it doesn't translate into anything. There's no English translation rather for what that word is, but it's just a translation. It's just joining two things. Like it's joining Adam to Seth, or begat, or what Adam begetting Seth. You feel me? So you'll just see that word between words. So it's making the relation to Seth and Adam having Seth. You know what I mean? Or you know what I mean, putting that seed in his wife and having Seth. Right? Just I just want to touch on that real quick. You'll see it a lot. I know during Sabbath service you've seen it a lot as well. But you'll definitely see it a lot though. But all right, Slakia, go ahead. I just want to get to the point real quick. Chef. Khan.
Shamana.
Shamana. No. Go back to that. You see what was under Shamana?
Hey.
So that's what I was talking about earlier. So sometimes you'll see Shemawana, sometimes you'll see Shamana. All right. Either one is correct. All right. Now, the word you just read was ma'af right after that, right?
Okay.
Now you'll see that's gonna be important for later because we're gonna get the tens, and then we're gonna get 100. You know what I mean? How you would say 100 is ma'ah. Ma'ah. Okay. Now the thought, I can't remember exactly why that's there, but you'll see it a lot when we're dealing with numbers. Like when you're talking about like time, when you're talking about like age, you'll see that a lot. Like when we was reading in we're gonna, Lord willing, if we got time, we'll go back to Leviticus 23. You'll see Shabbath. You'll see Shabbath a lot. That thigh at the end. I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head. It might come to me later. I can't remember right now. It's been a while since I went into the numbers. But you'll see that a lot when you're talking about like time and age and things like that, or when you're dealing with like a sequence of time passing. Like if you're just talking about a number in general, then you'll just see it in its plain form. Akash and Yashabai, Shalash Arabai, Kamash Shasha Shabai, Shemam Natasha Aishra. But if you're talking about like a series of time passing, then that's when you start to see like tha and things like that attached to numbers. All right. But I just wanted you to see that, all right? Shemana being used as well. Now I'm gonna go back to the board, and then so 80 is Shemanayim or Shemanayim. Either one is correct. 90, Thashai Yum. And then 100, we just went over. Is Ma Ah. I believe it's spelled like that in the English. It's Ma, Ah, and Ha, I believe. All right. Now, with that being said, how you think you? Okay, so we just did the tens, right? So Aisharayum, Shalashim, Arabayum, Kamashim, Shishayum, Shabayum, Shamanayum, the Shayum, Ma'ah. All right, how you think you say? Based on what we already went through, I'm gonna make it easy. How do you say 31?
Shall we say 31?
Based on what we already went over. Anybody in the chat could put it in the chat as well. You know what I mean? Let me know. Let me know y'all paying attention out there. You know what I mean? We got a couple views. Let's get these likes up as well. You know what I mean? Let's get these likes up. Let's get the chat participation up. You know what I mean? Let's show that we in class.
Shalash. Would it be Shalashiyam Akhav?
Oh wait, reverse it.
Akhav Shalashiyam.
Khan. Achad Shalashim. All right. How would you say 74? Just throw a curveball at you. How you say 74?
74 should lucky to be Araba, Shabai.
Khan. Remember, it's like what we was talking about with Dark Side Question. When you read in the Hebrew and you counting in I see Dark Side, just reverse it. Achad Shalashiyum 31. But it's just like when with a Dark Side Question. You know what I mean? The little when you see numbers or like age or time in the scriptures, you'll see the small number first. So like it'll be like 3 and 20. Like instead of saying 23, instead of in the scriptures, instead of saying 23 years past, it'll be as a matter of fact, it's in right here in Genesis 5 and 7, right after what we just read in the Hebrew. And Seth lived after he begat Enos 807 years. Oh, wait, that's the first time I've seen that. That's 912 years. But typically when you see let me see if I can find the example. But it's arranged a little bit differently than how we were speaking in English. Like in verse 21, it says, and Enoch lived 60 and 5 years. You know what I mean? In English, we would just say 65. I mean, but in the Hebrew or in the English translation, it says 60 and 5. You might see in this case, you'll see Salaki, 1 second. What? Oh, water. Salaki, 1 second. But typically in the scriptures, you'll see instead of saying like 23, it'll be 3 and 20 years. You know what I mean? It'll be 3 and 20 years. Or it'll be, you get the point, right? It's the same thing with what we doing here. Let's see, there you go. Dang, he was just in here. Look like Yawash gonna be joining us here in a second. You know what I mean? Let me see if I can while Yawash getting in here, let me see if I can find it in the Genesis. I think it was in 5. And we'll go to verse 7. What was that? 21. So like you bear with me, priest, or bear with me, brother. 21. Waya Haya Hanawak Hamash wa Shashayim. All right. But yeah, in the scriptures, the little number will go first. All right. So when you counting, you'll say Most High in Christ. But when you counting, you'll do the little number first. So 77, like Itaz Agabar said, it'll be or 74, it'll be Arabai Shabayim. We're gonna do one more, and then we're gonna get let's do, how would you say 49 in the Hebrew? Then we're gonna move on. Let's see who in the see if we can see anything in the chat.
Tasha Arabayam.
Khan. Tashai Arabayam. 49. Or the direct English translation would be 9 and 40. All right. And as you read the scriptures, you'll see exactly what I mean. When it talks about numbers, things like that, that's usually how it's arranged. And he lived 9 and 40 years, and then he had his son. Or he worked for like what's his name? Isaac worked for Laban for
Jacob?
4 and 10 years. Was it Jacob?
Kind.
Was it Jacob?
Yeah, to work for Laban. Remember Jacob ladder? He was asleep.
You're right.
And then he went to the land.
Yeah, you're right. Go on. Most High Christ. I see. Get me right. Dark side. I see. You absolutely correct. But that's how those numbers are arranged. All right, y'all get the point, right? All right, so we're gonna get a couple more. We're gonna get a couple more. Lakia. All right. So the last one, I'm gonna give y'all just for because I don't want to crowd the screen too much. You know what I mean? It's a lot of information. I don't want to overwhelm. But this is like if you could count from 1 to 10, you can count from 1 to 100. You know what I mean? You could count from 1 to 100, then you could count from 100 to 1,000. All right, and I'm gonna show y'all in a second. So 1,000 is a lop. A lop.
1,000.
That's the whole. That's all the numbers right there. Now you could count to, you know what I mean, however high you need to count from here. So if ma'ah is 100, then how do you say 300?
If my eye is 100, you will say Shalash Allah. Salaki. Shalash my ah. Yum. Shema.
Damn right. Hey, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shah,
Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shah.
Salaki, I was. You there? Okay, most of cry. I just want to make sure everything's working on your end. You know what I mean, you see what we got going on, Yawash?
So you got the numbers up there?
You pretty familiar with the numbers, right?
Yeah, we were doing the Hebrew Academy. I know we had count up to a 20.
Yeah, you ever how you set up to 20?
Yeah, can we go? Yeah,
you ain't go up to 100?
No, we didn't count to 100. They just had us count to like the 20 because we do like our stretches, and we were stretching. We had count up to 20. Like we'd be in a circle, and everybody had like so everybody be in a circle. So each day will count off. One person will count off, and then you go around a circle. Then whoever mess up, they'll start all over again.
Good night. All right, don't reveal too much about Hebrew Academy.
Oh yeah.
But now what you said was,
you
ain't reveal too much, but I just wanted to. I just want to give you that heads up. You go in. So what'd you say? Ita Zagabar, what's 300?
300 to be Shalash Ma'af.
Shalash Ma'ayim.
Not quite. Ma'ayim.
Yeah, that's what I said the second time. I figured it.
Yeah, Shalash Ma'ayim.
Shalash Ma'ayim. All right. So, with that being said, how do you say? Yeah, it is too easy. With that being said, how do you say if a lop is 1,000? How do you say 3,000?
Shalash Alapim.
Yeah.
Well, let me keep it practical because we got officers of 1,000, and then we got officers of 5,000. So how would you say 5,000?
Would be Kamash Alapium.
Shalash Alapium.
Yeah. Kamash Alapium.
Kamash Alapium.
Real talk. Yeah, I was telling Ita Zagabar earlier, you know what I mean? I know we get comfortable with the language, but just for practicing sake, when you see that cha that CHAA sound, make sure you emphasize just so you get used to saying it so it rolls off the tongue.
Yeah,
Kamash.
sometimes I know I do it a lot too. I'll be like ka. That like you said, emphasizing it. Be ka.
Yeah, I do it all the time with like we don't call Officer Karab, we don't call him Karab, we call him Karab.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if you mispronounce it, or if you don't emphasize it, you might end up saying something that you don't mean to say on accident. And sometimes it could be on accident, or sometimes it could be harmless, but sometimes it could lead to some gross misunderstandings. Like I believe Karab, so Karab with a Kha is sword. Karab, I think Karab refers to like a garment or something like that. Karab. I would have to look it up. Let me see. And then Korab with a qua at the beginning means to draw near or to get close. So it means to draw near or to get close. Let me see what Karab means. Abagada Hawaza Hatayaka. And just so you know what I mean, just so y'all know, you know what I mean, brothers at home and brothers in the chat, brothers and sisters in the chat, you know what I mean, I got a Hebrew to English dictionary on my phone. All right, that's another excellent tool to have. I really don't see why not. You know what I mean, why not have it? I think it cost me about $2 and some change when I first got it. It was on sale. It was on like a promo sale or something like that. But I think regular price is like $5. You know what I mean? But it's an excellent tool. It doesn't really make sense not to have it. I don't think Karab means anything actually. Or I can't if it does mean something. Salakia, bear with me. If it does mean something, then it's I can't find it. I believe it means something. It has something to do with like clothes, though. But anyway, but you get the point, though, right? If you mispronounce or you don't emphasize certain characters, then you end up saying something different. Like what we was talking about earlier with Anya, when we was talking about last week, we was talking about Anya is how you say I or I am, right? But if you pronounce Anya incorrectly, like if you say Anaya, then you end up saying ship, like a vessel. And you end up saying something totally different than what you intend on saying. All right. So pronunciation is very important. You know what I mean, it's another example. This is an example of a gross misunderstanding. All right. So the word Maroc or Morocco, Ma, Ra, and Qua. You know what I mean? That word means sharp. Like, you know what I mean? You see a brother in a flat garment, you want to compliment the brother. You're like, hey, that garment sharp, man. That garment Morocco. But if you don't pronounce that Qua at the end and you say ka, you pronounce that Qua as a ka, then you're saying something totally different. Morocco with a ka at the end means soft. So you go up to a brother and be like, hey, this brother garment fly as hell. This brother garment Morocco. You know what I mean? You trying to compliment. You trying to say he looks sharp, but you end up calling the brother soft. You know what I mean? So it's like that mispronunciation. It could lead to misunderstandings like that. You know what I mean? You trying to compliment this brother. Now y'all scrapping in the street. You don't know why he just swung on you. You know what I mean? Just little things like that to just be aware of. But for the most part, it's just for practice. Right. You know what I mean? For the most part, it's just for practice. Those things are hardly happen. You know what I mean? And I know everybody got their own dialect, and you know what I mean. We black, so we could say the same thing in different contexts. We know what the hell we talking about. You know what I mean? So, but it's just for practice sake. All right, we're gonna go back to this board, right? Well, I think that's all the numbers, right? We just went over all the numbers. Let me go. Salaki. Let me get back on the. Bear with me, y'all. You already know my laptop ain't worth a
You too
damn.
much.
What's on Christ? While we here though, while we waiting, Yawa Ash, while we got you, do you have any questions or anything specific you want to go over?
No, I just know I just be stumbling on the on Juan, like W-A. I think they got nod in like Juan or something like that. Like you see words with Juan. I be like, I don't know. I don't know what I be saying. But I know I be struggling on that.
You know that Most High Christ. So that segues right into the next the last part of the class. I mean, we're gonna go into Leviticus 23, and we just gonna practice reading. All right. And then anything that you stumble over, or anything you have a hard time with, then we'll just address it tonight as we cross it. All right. So you able to use Read Bible Hub and be on the stream?
I'm on. I mean, I don't know if I can or not. I'm not. I know
Or you got that tablet, right?
Oh no, I'm on my phone right now. I'm at my mother-in-law house.
But
you can bring it on. I can see it on the. I can see it on the. I could maximize my screen right now. I can maximize these numbers right now. I can see it. So you put it on the screen. I could blow it up on my phone.
Okay.
And see it.
Okay, Most High Christ. I'm gonna try to get it as clear as possible, but I ain't gonna lie, my laptop be when I try to zoom in, it get to jumping around and acting all squirrely.
Yeah, right now, so like if I
So we
right
gonna
now,
start here. I don't know if well, I guess.
Yeah, I can zoom in and out.
It over.
Yeah, I can zoom in and out.
What you about to say, Yawash?
Yeah, I can see. I on my phone. I can zoom in and out.
Okay, Most High Christ. Most High Christ. All right. So last week, I don't know if you was did you pop in last week or
last week, I think I can't remember. I don't know. I think I did. I think so. I can't remember. You want to read the first line?
So last week, come Baba Kashai. And this is gonna be a line that you're gonna need to remember. So if you could just read, I'm gonna have you read it a couple times and commit it to memory, or read it the first time and then I'm gonna read it and I'm gonna explain. All right.
All right. You ready? What you the board, Yahweh, all, Masha, La. What that is? Or is it Ra? La Amar. So,
Con.
So what you? So, yeah, what you the board?
Right, so this.
Yahweh. You want me to finish reading, sir?
Oh, you gotta use. Well, I'm gonna explain, right? So, the reason why this line is so important is because it's all in the scriptures, all over the place. Like I think it's in Leviticus 23. We went over it last week. It's in Leviticus 23 about 4 or 5 times. Right. You're gonna see it over and over and over again, and in other parts of the scriptures, you'll see the same phrase, but then you'll just change the name. So instead of saying Wayadabar Yahweh al Mashallah Amar, you'll say Wayadabar Yahweh al Nak La Amar to say Noah. And the Most High spoke to Noah saying, or the Most High spoke to Abraham saying, Wayadabar Yahweh al Abraham La Amar. So if you could commit this phrase to memory, it's going to save you a lot of time and a lot of struggling.
Right.
You know what I mean? So just I'm gonna read it, and this is how it should flow out. This is, I don't know, and if you notice, like if I ever read for like Sabbath service or like during a feast day, like this particular part, like I might, you know what I mean, brothers might stumble every now and then, even myself, like I might stumble as I'm reading it, but this particular phrase, I just flow through it because it occurs so often. So, Wayadabar Yahweh al Mashallah Amor. Wayadabar Yahweh al Mashallah Amor. You know what I mean? All right, go ahead, read it again, and read it as fluent as you can. You ain't gotta be, you know what I mean? You ain't gotta go faster than you capable. Do you know what I mean? You can.
Oh, Wayadabar Yahweh oh Masha La Amor.
God. And if you it's going, the more you do it, the more it's gonna feel like just speaking your language. Like right now we just reading, but when you read like a book, you're not reading each individual word. You're not, and the dog ran away from the cat. You're really just skimming. Like when you read a book, you're just skimming through it, and your brain is just like putting it together. It's the same with the Hebrew. Once you get familiar with certain words, you just skimming through it, and it's just you just putting it together because you're familiar with it. Well, okay, we went over that last week. We had the bar Yahweh al Mashallah Amar. The next phrase, or the next verse rather. I'm gonna read it, and if you want, Yawash, Itazakabar, if you want to jump in too, I know we went over this last week, but if you want to, you know what I mean, read it again, we're gonna go to verse 3. We're gonna go to verse 3 in a second. It's gonna be new for all of us in a second. Yeah, I'm gonna read verse 2, but I'm just letting you know because this is you know what I mean, this is what we went over last week. So I'm just letting you know we gonna go over this one more time for Yawash, and then we gonna read verse 3. All right, and if you want to read, just feel free to, you know what I mean, chime in as well. I'm gonna read this, and then I'm gonna pass it to y'all brothers. So the bar al, like the bar al. I'm gonna wait for it to stop moving around. All right, the bar al banya yasharala wa. It's like a wa morath. It's like a wa amartha. Alham Mawa'idya Yahweh Ashar Kora'awa Athum Makora, it's like a Makora'aya Qadash Allah Hum Mawa'idya. All right. I desire you want to go ahead and you want to read this one? Or you actually, you know, I'm gonna let Yawash read this one, then I'm gonna let you read verse 3. You too all with that? Okay, most not crazy. Yawash, you
I got it.
Go ahead and read.
The bar Banya Yashala wa Amarta Allah Allahim
Hum.
Allahum
all hum. It's the same that all that you're reading in that phrase is the same all that's in the second phrase. It's two.
So hum.
All meaning two, hum meaning them. All hum.
My wa'adaya.
My idea.
My idea. All right.
Mawa idea.
Mawa idea. I said it right.
Con. And if I could, I just want to touch on this as well. That Yah at the end, it just shows something. It just shows possession. So Yah at the end of a word can mean me or my, which is usually what it means. Or if it's just behind the root word, like if you read in the red, it doesn't say my, it just says the feast. The feast, and the next word is Yahweh, the feast of the Lord.
Yeah,
So Yah is just showing possession. It's showing who these feasts belong to. Right? So it just shows possession. So it doesn't necessarily mean me or my. It just shows that this is owned by something or somebody. All right, you go ahead. I just wanted to touch on that.
Mawa idea.
God.
Yeah, Yahweh. Ashar.
God.
The Korai. What?
God.
Atum.
God.
Mokor Raya.
God.
Qadash.
God.
Allah.
God.
Say that right? All right.
God, you said it right.
My idea.
God, perfect. Most High Christ. And that first part, before we move on, that first part, the bar al banya yasharala, that's another that's another little phrase that would be wise to get used to seeing or get used to saying. You know what I mean? The bar al banya yasharala. Because that's usually when the Most High gives you gives a prophet instructions, rather. It'll say, it'll start off with that phrase, Waya Debar Yahweh al Mashallah Amar. And the Lord spoke unto Moses, saying, and then it'll say, speak unto the sons of Israel, or speak unto the children of Israel. So when the Most High is giving instructions to a prophet, he's usually giving instructions to the prophet to speak to the people. So when you see that phrase, Waya Debar Yahweh al Mashallah Amar, this phrase is 9% gonna follow it. The bar al banya yasharala, right? So in your you know what I mean, in your own time, I ain't gonna you know what I mean, I ain't gonna make y'all do it right now, but just in your own time, it would be wise to just go over and just practice saying it. Just practice saying it, practice getting it in your memory. So next time you see it, you can just skim right through it. And it'll be easier for you to read. And you're gonna see it in Sabbath service as well. It's not just gonna be Leviticus 23. You're gonna see it. Where we at? I think the Most High still dealing with Moses right now. But when we get to, I think the next prophet after Moses was who? Was Joshua?
Oh yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, after Exodus.
I think after Deuteronomy, or I think after Deuteronomy, or when you get the Numbers, I think it start to deal with Joshua. Right. If I'm not mistaken, I gotta double check. But the next prophet, say that again.
Well, I have Salaki.
But so instead of saying Wayadabar Yahweh al Mashah La'amar, you'll say Wayadabar Yahweh al Yahweh Shah La'amar. Or not Yahweh Shah meaning Joshua. You know what I mean? So you'll just replace that prophet's name. And then when the next prophet comes, who's after Joshua? It start. I believe after that is it Judges? I can't remember, but you get the point though, right? When it goes to when the Most High deals with the next prophet, you could just replace whatever name there with the next prophet. So Wayadabar, Yahweh Al, Yahweh Shai, La Amar. Wayadabar, Yahweh Al Shalama, La Amar. And you know what I mean, so on and so forth. All right, who was it? Aita Zagabor. All right, I'm gonna read it first. I'm gonna read it first, and then I'm gonna let you read Aita Zagabor. All right, so Leviticus 23:3 in the Hebrew, Sheshaf Yom Yom the Laki the Aisha Ma Malaka wa Bayawam Shabaya Shabbath one Ma Korah Kodash Ka Malaka La'a the Aishawa Shabbath Hawa'a La Yahweh Bakal. Salakia. Keep jumping around. All right, I believe that's it on that. And it's gonna be a couple things. I'm gonna let you read through, and then we're gonna I'm gonna point out a couple things that's gonna be important to make note of as you read it. Whenever you're ready, Ike Zagabar, you can go ahead and read it.
Kanamakan. Shashata Yamanya
Shashaf.
Shataf
Shashaf.
Shashataf Yamayam Ta'ashata Ta'ashaha
Aisha.
Mala'a Salaki. I can't hear you, sir.
Oh, Salaki. Ta is Ta Aisha. That third one, Ta Aisha.
Ta'asha Mala'akatha
Good.
Wabaya one Wabaya one Hum Wabaya Yum Wabayam Wabaya Bay Wabaya Wabayam Wabaya Salaki Wabaya Wabam Wabaya
Wabayawam.
Wabayawam Hashabaya Aya Hashabaya Aya
Khan. Hashaba. If I could, real quick, so what we just went over right on the board was cardinal numbers, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 1,000, right? What you're looking at right now is an ordinal number. So instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it's first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, so on and so forth. And ordinal numbers are slightly different than cardinal numbers. So instead of saying, so 7 is Shabai, 7th is Shabai Ya'aya. And there's a rule. I'm probably teaching next class about ordinal numbers, but there's a little rule. There's a little rule with the ordinal numbers. There's a ya surrounding the last character in the ordinal numbers. So again, Shabai is 7. The in Shabai there's a ya in front of the last character, which would be I, and then there's a ya behind it as well. Shabai Ya'aya. That's just the way to remember. That's an easy way to remember it. All right. But we're gonna go into detail a little bit more next class about these ordinal numbers. But I just want to point that out. All right, that's all that is right there. So Shabai Ya'aya. All right, you go ahead.
Shabbat.
And this is what I was talking about as well. Slakia to interrupt you again. But in these numbers, when you see it talking about like a passing of time, or when you're talking about like you'll see that thought at the end. So like at the beginning, like 6 is shasha, but in this context, you'll just see that tha at the end. So shashaf. Same with right here in Sabbath, Shabbat. All right, go ahead, Salaki. I just want to point that out.
Shabbat the one. Shabbat the one.
Shabbat one.
And that's what you was talking about, Yawash, right?
Yeah, kind. I struggle on that. Like I struggle on that one. Yeah, so it was so you would say that Shabbat one.
Right? Exactly. So you with the prepositions, possessors, and tenses and things like that, you pronounce the root word and then you pronounce the attachment. So instead of it would be Shabbathawan, you would pronounce the root word, which is Shabbath, and then add one, Shabbath one, just like how you would do a preposition or possessive. All right, that should. I hope that make it a little easier for you. All right, Slakia, Aita Zakabar, you can go ahead, continue.
Makara'ah. Qadash. Call. Mala'akha. Mala'akwaha. La'ah. Do'ah. The Asher one. The Asher. The Asher. Shabbat. Hawa'ah. La ya la ya la ya la Yahweh. Bakal. Baal. Bakal. Mawashabah. Mawashabah. The Yakal.
Awesome. I didn't that's one.
Baal. The Mawashabah. Yakal. Yeah. Mawashabah. Mawashabah. Yakal.
Perfect.
So like I said,
Go ahead.
so like if I may, but I just like sometimes when I sometimes I be looking at the letters in the red. So I know I used to not pay attention like you said Yahweh. You already know you see in the red say Yahweh. You just you know what I mean. You have to say just say it. That sometimes I cheat. But on that, sir, same thing that goes with when he was reading whatever that phrase, shall you do? So that's how I would get stuck on that at the end, because that one is that word at the end again. The Ashawa. See, as I'm saying it right.
And it's the like once you get in the habit of addressing Salakia, y'all, it's not moving on y'all screen, is it?
No, good. Be too sir.
It's moving around on my screen, but once you get in the habit of just reading identify the root word and then add everything else from there. So the root word in what you like, shall you do? Mm-hmm. Shall you do? The root word is Aisha, which means do. Right. So if you could get in the habit of identifying a root word and then adding everything else to it, that'll help you be able to pronounce it correctly.
Right.
So Aisha is the root word, so I know it's Ta Aisha Wa. And sometimes, like when I first started reading the Hebrew, I would have to pronounce it like real deliberate. You know what I mean? Like real dramatic to get that in my brain. So now, when you see new verses, new chapters, things like that, new words that you ain't never seen before, it'll be a little bit easier. Or like for example, the last phrase or the last phrase, you just do the same thing for like bigger phrases, like Mawa Shabbath Yakum. So the root word is Shabbath,
Shabbat.
which means rest. And once you add that ma to the beginning, so now you're just adding everything else. So the root word is Shabbath. Now you just add Mawa Shabbath, and then Yakum is the suffix or the what was the possessive. Come just means y'all, I believe. Y'all, like we went over a couple weeks ago. And then the ya is just a buffer. But once you just isolate the root word, then you could just attach everything else to it. So Shabbat is the root word. Then now you just add everything else. Mawa Shabbat Yakum. And then big words become small words. Big words, just like in English, big words in the Hebrew are just made up of small words. All right, what time is it? Oh. All right, it's 8:57. We're gonna go ahead and leave it right there. All right. Just so Sabbath service is gonna be tomorrow. All right.
Sir.
What would be wise for y'all to do is to go to y'all gonna be there, right?
I'll be there, sir. I'll be there.
Okay, Most High in Christ. What would be wise to do is just to hit up Officer Tapazar, see where y'all gonna be starting off at, and just read through it. Read through it just to get comfortable with it. You ain't got to read the whole 49 verses. You can if you like to, but you just read the first couple verses and just get comfortable with having Hebrew on your mind and having it, you know what I mean, getting that muscle memory down. If you run into anything strange or that's difficult to pronounce, y'all can feel free to call me and shoot me a text, shoot me a screenshot, and you know what I mean, I'll be able to help y'all out. But that would be the wise thing to do for y'all to go ahead and get that information from Officer Tapazar and just read what y'all know y'all gonna be reading tomorrow. All right.
You not gonna be there?
No, I'm not gonna be there. It's like I got a slave. But just let me know. Just let me know if y'all got any questions. And I'll be able to walk y'all through it. And I mean, and that's how you gonna get better. All right. Well, with that, we're gonna go ahead and give first of all, before we close out, make sure y'all, you know what I mean, throw water for y'all brothers and sisters that endure with us in the chat. You know what I mean, throw water to y'all brothers, you know what I mean, Officer Yawash and Aitazah Gabar, you know what I mean, throw water for y'all enduring and joining the live stream, you know what I mean, put in that work. You know what I mean, I see y'all brothers growing, keep up the good work, and y'all gonna be some Hebrew scholars. You know what I mean? This brother, you should have seen Aitazah Gabar earlier. You know what I mean? This brother with the numbers. You know what I mean? He was teaching a class. You should have seen him, Yawash.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Y'all brothers is becoming some real Hebrew scholars. You know what I mean? Because y'all putting in that work. So, you know what I mean? Hats off to y'all brothers. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe to the channel. Make sure y'all share it on all platforms. And hit that QR code in the top right corner. You know what I mean? And morning, noon, tonight, there'll be a brother in that chat to answer all your questions and solve all your problems. With that, let's say Shalom, Yahweh Shem, Yahushua, Barakathon to all the brothers. And Shalom, Yahweh Shamar Lathan, Bashem, Yahushua to all the sisters.
Shalom.
Shalom.